Good morning. This is a short video about Peter Pig pirate ships. I've just been up to the workshop and I chose a random ship off the racks, if you believe that. This is pack number 10, which is a merchant ship, and at the moment it retails for £5.50. Let's open the pack first of all. Cut the top off, pull the contents out. So held quite securely in there. It's all stapled in. There's a bag of bits. Let's cut that out with a pair of scissors. Right, there's a hull, obviously. There's a back plate, the back of the ship. There's some masts. There they go. And also there's a bowsprit and a rear sail as well. Now, the masts have a great big bit on the bottom of them, a big lump, so they fit in these large holes in the hull. This product is designed to be for war gamers, therefore it's fairly tough and very useful. Now, I've not trimmed anything up yet, but let's try it for dry fit. This big mast obviously goes in the middle. Notice the bottom sail is furled, which is normal for ships in action. So get this bit, stick it in there. It's quite a tight fit, maybe I'd put a knife in it or something like that. The next one is this mast. That's at the front. These ships are all illustrated on the Peter Pig website, so you should be able to look at the picture if you want to see them assembled. And that'll sit in there. I don't want to push it too hard. The third mast goes there. Now, notice with these ships that you don't have the sails pointing exactly forwards and backwards. They're always to one side because these ships are catching the wind. This layout of sails is called a square rigger. So when you put your masts in, stick them in and put them slightly to one side. There's the bowsprit with a big spike on the bottom. There's a little hole in the front of the model ship. Yeah. Now this rear sail has got two little lugs in it. You can tell which way the sail goes because the lines go from top to bottom. The lines are the strips of canvas that make up sails. These sails were sewn together by big long strips of canvas. And the tiny little lines across it, that's integral to the canvas, so when they're rolled up, they're the ropes that tie it all up into place. Now this particular one has got the lugs going top to bottom. That means the lines of the sail go from top to bottom. It probably oh there we go, yeah, it clips on the lower part of that sail there. I can't really put this as a dry fit into place, it's the back plate. The back plate's got some little windows on it, a couple of rear lanterns, which is quite normal, and a little flag. So that would be something like that there. Number of parts in the kit. Hull is 1, bowsprit 2, 3 sails, 3, 4, 5, another separate sail 6, and a rear plate 7. And that's the whole kit. I've just got some glue out, some super glue. Now I put my super glue for this little model on a coin. The reason I put some glue on a coin is that if used directly from the bottle, it might go all over the place and that really upset people. I put a bit of wire and a cork just so I got something small to use. Now when assembling these, the mast can tilt either way as I said, but I'm going to put the bowsprit on first. So I'll dip it in super glue, there we go, pop in the little hole, there it is. That's that stuck in. Next, front mast, there are 3 masts. I'll do the front mast first. I'll dip it in a bit of super glue, pop it in the ship. It's quite a tight fit, but that's not going to upset anyone, I don't think. I think I've tilted slightly in that direction. It doesn't matter what direction you tilt it in because it's a model for gaming with. There, I'm happy with that. The main mast, dip it in a bit of super glue. There we go. And I'll tilt it in the same direction as the mast in front. The mast should all tilt in the same direction. This rear mast it's got a little sail that clips onto it. So I'll put a bit of super glue on the mast itself. There we go. And I'll press that on. It's metal, so it'll just sort of bend into place. Not sure how well that'll hold. It might need some time to set. Yeah, probably some time to set. Anyway, just for the sake of the video, I'll put some glue on the mast. There we go. Pop it in as well. Same sort of angle. There. Now, when using super glue, that's all stuck together. When it's dried, you want to put a little bit more super glue into those joints from underneath, etc., to make sure it's secure. And I'll do that in a minute. I can't really stick the back plate on at the moment because I expect the ship needs to be tilted in some direction in order to achieve that. That's stage one. Here's the same ship that I did many years ago. This particular one's about 20 years old. Just show how well they last. This one was built in about the year 2000 for playtest in the last set of Piece of 8 rules. Now, a little bit about painting other stuff. First of all, I like to stick a little bit of plastic under the back of a ship, and I can write the name on it. I'll probably do that dark blue and put a name on top of that, but that's just a thing that I like to do for my ships. Now, this model, I gave it a dark brown undercoat. Dark brown's better than black because it gives a more subtle contrast. The sides of the hull are like a mid-brown. Do a lot of dry brushing on my models. Dry brushing is when you put a bit of paint on your brush, brush it all off so there's almost nothing left, and then you just flick it across the model. And you keep flicking across the model until you get the colour you want. Don't put too much on because you can't take it off again. And when I dry brush, I tend to use a nice flat sable brush, a good wide sable brush. So it'll go with the contours and it's well worth the money spent. Now, the sides of the hull are mid-brown. The decks and the masts are very, very pale brown indeed, like a tan colour. I then add a little bit of ink, like a Winsor & Newton burnt sienna, just to show out the detail. The sails, I did an undercoat in tan. Then I did some occasional stripes in a lighter tan, like a white or a cream, just to show the different parts have been sewn in. And once again, a nice ink on it, like a burnt sienna from Winsor & Newton, some sort of brown ink. Now the back of the ship, this rear plate, I did that black. Now the rear plate should be a little bit proud of the sides of the ship. It's supposed to stick out a little bit on the sides. Once again, dry brush across, I use yellow for that. Little side windows, yellow. And the backs of the masts, I've just touched them up a bit. The painting's fairly rough, but it's effective. Lots and lots of dry brushing. I put no rigging at all on the ship. People could put rigging on the ship, absolutely fine. But these are meant to go to conventions. These particular models have done there's about 4 American conventions. Been down to Brooker's hobby stores back in the 2000s. It's done about 20 British shows. In all, this little model must have played at least 350 games. And sometimes people handle them not so carefully, but the way they're built, you can pick them up by the sails and move the model around. So they're quite robust. I mean, don't get mental with it, but they're quite robust. You can pick them up, move them, and there's the effect. So from the front, little stripes look quite nice. From the back, you see the stripes again in the rear part, and that's a model ready for the game. This one's a merchant ship, but you can use warships because pirates used merchantmen as warships and vice versa. All sorts of messing about with boats. And this is 1/450th scale. That's the scale that we use for our pirate ships, so it fits exactly what the rules need to do. Now, just for interest, the Piece of 8 rules use hexagons of this size. This one's obviously a bit yellow. We wouldn't use this for a game. Just show it sits on a hexagon. That's how the model sits on a hexagon for Piece of 8 war game. These rules should be out in about February and March 2019. And the ship goes from face to face. When the ship moves, I digress a bit here, but it's still interesting. And that's 1 hex of movement. If it goes to one different direction, that's how ship does a turn. And this is all good war gamey stuff. And it's played upon a hex cloth, but there'll be more videos about that later. And the ship is finished, and as I said, you could add some rigging if you like. You could add some more little flags and stuff like that, but this one is robust, ready for wargaming, and off we go. Thank you very much.